Funeral service for Mr. Homer K. Gwathney, age 96, of Sylacauga. That service will be today at 2 p.m. from Curtis and Son North, with burial in the Marble City Cemetery. Visitation from noon until 2, also at Curtis and Son North. Mr. Gwathney died at the age of 96 on November the 15th. He was a veteran of World War II, where he served 11 months in the European Theater of Operations and participated in 3 major campaigns and was awarded 3 Bronze Stars and the World War II Victory Medal. He was also a longtime member of the Mount Vernon Baptist Church in Sylacauga. Online condolences at CurtisandSonFH.com, Curtis and Son Funeral Home, North Chapel directing. Mrs. Dorothy Perry, age 80, of Childersburg, died at her residence on Wednesday, November 15th. Curtis and Son Funeral Home, North Chapel announcing. Mrs. Virginia Nell Bowden Lambert, age 88, of Vinson, died Thursday at Columbiana Health and Rehab. Funeral service will be Saturday at noon from First Baptist Church of Vinson, with the Reverend Mika Markham, the Reverend Darrell Wood, and the Reverend Jerry Baker officiating, and burial in the Vincent City Cemetery. Mrs. Lambert was a member of the First Baptist Church of Vincent. She was active in numerous civic organizations. Online condolences at CurtisandSonFunerals.com, Curtis and Son Funeral Home, Childersburg Chapel directing. May George, age 94, of Sycamore, died this morning at Coosa Valley Medical Center. Curtis and Son Funeral Home, North Chapel, announcing the arrangements. Graveside service for Allene Nelson, age 71, is today at 11 o'clock from Mount Zion Baptist Church, Baptist Cemetery in Westover. That's Mount Zion Baptist Cemetery in Westover. Pastor Delford Isabel officiating. Visitation this morning, 9 until 10 at the funeral home. Mrs. Nelson died November 4th at her residence. Memorial message may be sent to the family at RadleySmith.com. Radley Smith Funeral Home directing. Funeral service for Shirley A. Phifer, age 74, of Sylacauga, is Sunday at 2 p.m. from the chapel of Radley Smith Funeral Home. The Reverend Dorthy Scott officiating. Burial in the Evergreen Cemetery. Ms. Phifer died Wednesday, November 15th at her residence. Visitation will be Sunday from noon until 2 at the funeral home. Memorial messages may be sent to the family at RadleySmith.com. Radley Smith Funeral Home, Sylacauga directing. Charles Willis, age 64, died November 16th. Terry's Metropolitan Mortuary will announce the arrangements. Funeral service for Ms. Rosa Battle B. Wesley, age 74, is Saturday at 11 a.m. from Tallahatchie Baptist Church in Childersburg. The Reverend Fred Jemison officiating. Burial in the Tallahatchie Church Cemetery of Childersburg. Visitation today, noon until 8 at the funeral home. Ms. Wesley died November 13th at UAB Medical Center in Birmingham. Online condolences at communityfuneralhome.org. Community Funeral Home, Sylacauga directing. Mr. Matthew L. Verges, age 32, died November 13th in Alpine. Community Funeral Home will announce the arrangements. Funeral service for Mr. Frank Green Slaughter, age 68, is Saturday at 1 p.m. from Community Funeral Home Chapel in Sylacauga. The Reverend Dexter Green officiating. The station will be today from noon until 8 o'clock, the family hour from 6 until 8 at the funeral home. Mr. Slaughter died November 13th at his residence in Sylacauga. Online condolences at communityfuneralhome.org. Community Funeral Home, Sylacauga directing. Funeral service for Mother Sadie M. Pope, age 79, is also Saturday at Holiness Unto the Lord Tabernacle of Childersburg at 2:30. The Reverend Paul Borden officiating. Burial in the Lily Roden Cemetery of Childersburg. Visitation today, noon until 8 at the funeral home. Mother Pope died November 13th at Citizens Medical Center in Talladega. Online condolences at communityfuneralhome.org. Community Funeral Home directing. Funeral service for Sarah Louise Camp of Sylacauga will be today at 11 o'clock at the chapel of Radley Smith Funeral Home. I'll be officiating that service. Burial in the Stewartville Church of God Cemetery. Ms. Camp died at Grandview Medical Center on November 14th. She was 81 years old. Memorial messages may be sent to the family at RadleySmith.com. Radley Smith Funeral Home directing. Mr. Willie H. Whiteside, age 66. Service for Mr. Whiteside will be today at 2 o'clock from Sims Chapel in Talladega. Pastor Percy Welch officiating. Interment in the Talladega Memorial Garden. Sims Funeral Service directing. Funeral service for Mrs. Mary Elizabeth Hodge, age 93, of Alexander City, will be today at 11 o'clock from the chapel at Radley Funeral Home. Dr. Matt Haynes officiating. Burial in the Hillview Memorial Park. Mrs. Hodge died Monday, November 13th at Russell Medical Center. She was a member of the 6th Street Baptist Church. Memorial messages may be sent to the family at radleyfuneralhome.com. Radley Funeral Home directing. Funeral service for Miss Amber Peacock Yates, age 36, of Alexander City, is this morning at 10:30 from Trinity Branch of First United Methodist Church. The Reverend Mike Dinsmore officiating. Ms. Yates died on Saturday, November the 11th, and she was a member of the First United Methodist Church. Memorial messages can be sent to the family at radleyfuneralhome.com. Radley Funeral Home in Alexander City in charge of the arrangements. These obituaries presented by Curtis & Son Funeral Home, the North Chapel on Highway 21 in Sylacauga, the Childersburg Chapel on Highway 280 in Childersburg. That's 256-245-4361. For pre-need funerals, burials, or cremation since 1975, Curtis & Son Funeral Home, Sylacauga, Childersburg.